Hey guys, this is actually one of my first speaking live videos that I've done for my YouTube channel. Just wanted to get some information out to you guys. Want to talk to you about the city of Rosemont and basically in regards to the Kenneka Jenkins murder, because that's what it was, at the Crowne Plaza there back in September of this year, and the failed investigation that the police there really didn't do. But anywho, I wanted to give you a little background on the history of that town. And when I talk about that town, I talk about, you'll hear a lot of older people call someone an old crony. You don't hear a lot of people say that anymore, but what they really mean is where that word comes from. Cronyism is from nepotism. And nepotism is actually a form of corruption, and it's outlawed in most places, like it's against the law. So Rosemont doesn't have that. They obviously have a lot of nepotism there. Everyone in the family is basically related. Everyone in the city and county, or not county, but city officials and board members and on this committee and that committee and this committee, they're all related. They're all part of the Stevens family. So let's take a look at nepotism real quick. Let's see. Give you just a basic definition of what nepotism really means. Political corruption is the use of powers by government officials for illegitimate private gain. Forms of corruption vary, but include bribery, extortion, cronyism, there's that word again, nepotism, parochialism, patronage, influence peddling, graft, and embezzlement. And it's been around for a long time. But it is normally not allowed, like it's against the law. But Rosemont, they have a different rule, and they play by the whatever rule they have set up there, and nobody stops them. But I wanted to tell you about this article that I found in doing a little research on the Stevens family, and specifically on former Mayor Donald E. Stevens, who is now deceased, but his son Brad Stevens is the mayor now, currently. But anywho, this article is titled FBI Agent Rosemont Mayor Met with Mob. And it's dated July the 19th of 2005. And it's wrote by Mara Kelly Landon. I apologize. You don't mess the person's name up. Anywho, it says Rosemont Mayor Donald E. Stevens met with 5 members and 2 associates of organized crime in May of 1999 regarding the mob's control of construction and operations contracts at a proposed casino in the northwest suburb. An FBI agent testified Monday. Special Agent John Malul's testimony came during a hearing in which the state is aiming to revoke the dormant gaming license held by Emerald Casino, Inc. The Illinois Gaming Board cited wrongdoing by Emerald, including alleged mob links and rejecting the company's Rosemont Casino plan in 2001. Stevens vehemently denied Malul's testimony, saying he was at a vacation home in DeLaven, Wisconsin, on the day the meeting allegedly occurred. He also said he's never been to Armand's, the Elmwood Park restaurant where the gathering was to have happened. If you know anything about the Mafia, some of the names of the people that were supposedly or allegedly in this meeting will sound familiar to you. This special agent of the FBI, he said that the meeting took place on May the 29th of 1999, and those in attendance were Peter DeFranzo, John No-Nose DeFranzo, Joey the Clown Lombardo, which, if you know anything about the Mafia or La Cosa Nostra, you've definitely heard that name, Rudy Fratto, and Joe the Builder Andriacci. They talked about various contracts regarding its construction and operation, and Rosemont Mayor Donald E. Stevens said he's willing to pull the plug on his long casino quest if certain conditions are met. If we were made whole, it would not bother me if this casino was not in Rosemont. So, to be made whole, what he wanted was for Rosemont to be paid $50 million from a proposed sale of Emerald's Casino dormant gaming license to cover the cost of a parking garage the village built for Emerald. The rusting steel shell of what was to become Emerald's gambling barge remains visible outside that garage. And it says Stevens golfed when told of FBI Special Agent John Malul's testimony Monday. So he basically just said that this meeting never happened and that it couldn't have happened because he wasn't there. He was actually out of town at his home in Wisconsin when this meeting supposedly occurred. But anywho, I found one other article that I thought was pretty interesting. Well, I found several, but I'll just hit these two. This is actually from the Chicago Tribune, and it is dated August the 2nd, 2001. And I don't usually go to the Tribune because of their horrible, horrible coverage of the Kenneka Jenkins murder. And I just, I don't even want to give them the time of day for real. But anywho, this article happened to be on there, so I had to go. But anywho, it's from August the 2nd of 2001, wrote by John Cass, and it's titled Mafia Princess Sings a Different Tune on the Dawn. Speaking of Dawn Stevens. The Mafia princess smiled and ordered the blueberry pancakes. I had eggs up and Greek toast. We spent hours at breakfast Wednesday gabbing about the outfit. And if you know anything about the Chicago Mafia, they were called the outfit. That's what they were called. The Rosemont Casino. Okay, they were gabbing about the outfit, the Rosemont Casino, pasta sauce, and actress Susan Lucci, who played the Mafia princess in the old TV miniseries Mafia Princess. She played me as a weakling. It bothered me. I'm not like that, said Antoinette Giancana, daughter of the late Chicago outfit boss, Sam Mooney Giancana. She's been out of the public eye for a while, but she's working on another book tentatively titled, Who Killed Sam and JFK? And she's still selling that special Giancana's marinara sauce. What can I say? She said it's a great sauce. But we weren't there to talk about sauce or Susan Lucci. We were there to discuss Rosemont Mayor Don Stevens, who wants a gambling casino in his town. He's upset because the state gaming board thinks some casino investors have outfit ties. Stevens has sued the Chicago Crime Commission for libel, and he's been bragging that he pushed Sam Giancana and his henchmen out of Rosemont, like some Cape Crusader. He's been talking for weeks. Now the Mafia princess wants some equal time. When I read that in your column about how he says he ran my father out of Rosemont, well, I couldn't believe it, she said. How ridiculous. Don Stevens drove Sam Giancana out of Rosemont? Don Stevens? Preposterous. I just started getting used to the image of Stevens as a lone avenger, but Antoinette Giancana remembers a different Stevens. My father used to call him the Swede, she said. He used to say, I've got a Swede in my life. He was always hanging around my father at the motel. Named the Caravel and also the Thunderbolt, the motel was a Giancana hangout in the late 50s and 60s as Stevens was getting his start in life. There was a pool, and in the summer the kids of these mafia bosses and soldiers would play. Kind of like a day camp. Everything was all good during the day, but then everybody basically would leave. But, she said her father's friends were there. They had board meetings in the banquet room, and Don was at the motel too, of course. Don Stevens. Mobsters included, Willie Potatoes Dodano, who she said was a secret partner in the motel and ran the jukebox and pinball rackets in DuPage County. Don Stevens was always running around busy helping. Why did he run? Don was running around. You don't question it. You see him run, you don't say, Don, hey Don, why are you running? Did the daughters of the outfit bosses really tease Stevens by ordering him to fetch them towels at poolside? Did you ever say, hey Don, get me a towel? Wait a minute, she said, smiling. I'd never shout, Don, go get me a towel. That would be rude. I was ladylike. Sorry, I had a notification on one of my things that I subscribe to on YouTube. Anywho, I was ladylike. You would say, Don, would you please go get me a towel? So he was fetching towels for basically anybody that was at the pool. That's how he got his start. In the late afternoon, all the kids were gone. Sam didn't want us around at night, she said. The men were doing their own entertaining by that time with their mistresses and other girlfriends. It was wide open. She said her father had a friendly relationship with Stevens, who wanted to purchase the hotel. But Sam said Stevens, his Swede. Oh, I'm sorry. Sam says Stevens didn't have 2 quarters to rub together. Still, he held out his hand to Stevens, his Swede. It was a handshake deal, my father said. A handshake. I got it from the horse's mouth. A few years ago, and long after her father had been killed, she visited Stevens. She was asking for a job in Rosemont for her son. I was in his sumptuous office, and I asked him for that job for my son, and he looked at me. Out came this hideous little laugh, a negative laugh. I was a gincana. He didn't want any heat. But later, on his casino deal, I pick up the paper, and who the Sam Hill is he involved with? A Dodano. A Boscarino. It turned my stomach. I kept thinking of his little laugh, that horrible little laugh. Nicholas Boscarino was one of the Emerald Casino investors who gaming board investigators identified as having mob ties. He is the son of Angelo Boscarino, an outfit street captain who was shotgunned to death when his son was a youth. According to the Crime Commission, Stevens was involved in American Trade Show Services, a forklift rental company with Boscarino and William Dodano Jr. The outfit is not dead, she said. They've gone into legitimate businesses, construction, builders, other things. If Don sues the Crime Commission and they want my deposition, I'll tell them what I told you. So right there shows his connection with them by being involved with this American Trade Show Services, which was a business that he ran with Boscarino and Dodano Jr. So the ties are there, and they didn't just go away. So, just so everyone knows and is aware, there are mafia ties with the Stevens family. But this nepotism is what's bothering me more than anything, because that's not justice. You cannot have a town ran by everybody that's related to each other and think that anyone is going to get a fair shake. So, the FBI needs to step in and take over. This whole case needs to be reopened for starters, and this needs to be redone from head to toe, from the rooter to the tutor. But anywho, I just wanted to give you guys my first live, and hope you enjoyed it.